right, guys, let's get some. Yikes! I'm still here. I'm still here. What up? What up? What up? What up? Yeah, 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 yeah. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Like and subscribe. This is Levi Appel. I appreciate you guys. So on this channel, we basically focus on t-shirt designing and stuff like that. However, in the beginning, I like to talk about a little bit of news, what's going on in the world, do a little shirt afterwards, and then after that, talk about some more stuff, and then get back to regularly scheduled program, which is apparel designing, stuff like that. But I thought I might break the ice and just start with a little bit of news, what's going on in the world, things that's captivating, that's just got everybody in the upworld, what's going on. So we keep in touch with what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? Local, abroad, whatever. So yeah, like, subscribe. Again, this is Levi Apparel. Appreciate you. All right, cool. Let me get the first one ready. Let's get it ready. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about this employee that ended up stabbing and uh, basically stabbed a manager to death. She claims she was being bullied, and but there's no reason to, whatever it is, there's always a way out. There's no reason to hurt others just because of a situation that you feel, you know. Um, but yeah, it's a lot to take in. So let me let her talk. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Take it off mute. Give me a quick minute. All right, now we can continue.
And that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games.
On the morning of July 7th, 2025, inside a McDonald's located on Gresham Avenue in East Point, Michigan, the routine flow of breakfast orders and employee shifts was violently interrupted. At approximately 7:45 a.m., surveillance footage captured a hooded figure entering the store. Moments later, the store manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, was found on the floor unresponsive, suffering from multiple stab wounds to the upper body.
That is sad. Sad.
The suspect didn't flee far. According to East Point Police, the attacker, later identified as 26-year-old employee of Fini Badu Muhammad, was held at gunpoint by an armed customer until law enforcement arrived. Authorities later confirmed Harris had been stabbed more than 15 times. The motive, they said, appeared to stem from a workplace dispute, but the level of violence and the planning...
Guys, no matter how upset you are at a job, just quit. Even better. While you're working there, start putting your application. Look towards elsewhere to work, and once you get accepted in that location, move about. Right? If not, every management has a management on top of them to follow the lead. If if all else fails, like, let's just leave. It's better than you losing your sanity over somebody that you may feel is not agreeing with you, or based on what she was saying, bullying or whatever, right? But it still doesn't give you a reason to just hurt somebody like that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Suggested something more deliberate. Afeni Mohammed was taken into custody on site and has since been charged with first-degree premeditated murder, among other felonies.
The McDonald's employee accused of stabbing and killing her manager was arraigned on first-degree murder charges this afternoon in East Point.
Police say the suspect was sent home from work after an argument. Then she returned with a knife and a mask.
My mama was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. Mama.
Look at that. Now you have the person who's now gone. She was a mom, a wife, or you know, somebody's partner, a sister, all this stuff, and aunt, and now she's gone, and the family has to, you know, deal with this, and they can never get the person back. Sad.
Mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us, My mama died trying to take care of us. She died. My God. She was so good to everybody. A hard-working woman. So kind. If anybody needed help, she would give you her last. Give you the shirt off her back. She did not deserve that at all.
How many kids can see your mom?
6. All 6 of us. Me and my
5
siblings.
girls and 1 boy.
My brother. And she's aware that she took us from her. We met everybody at McDonald's. My mama always shared with everybody that she loved her kids, showed them pictures of us. We would come up here. We met her co-workers. We met the lady and everything. I don't understand why she had to kill her. It was not fair. My mama didn't deserve that. My mama was even good to her. She was good to everybody. Everybody. I hate that she had to die alone in there. I hate that she had woke up trying to make money for me and my siblings and had to pass away just trying to work for us.
That's sad.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
And you wrong for taking this woman away from her children. My sister. That is just sad.
You met us. You saw all of us in there playing in there. You gave us stickers. You came and introduced yourself to us. Why take our mama from us? You knew we loved each other. You knew she was all that we had. No.
How old was your mom, if I could ask?
She was 39.
She's
Wow.
very young.
Single mother. Single.
I'm 40, so she's considered young to me. Wow. Wow. It's a young mom.
Our dad is incarcerated, so now we only got our aunties and my pastor. My mama is gone.
She is currently held on a $25 million bond. Prosecutors allege that Muhammad left the restaurant after a confrontation, changed clothes, armed herself with a concealed weapon, and returned to carry out the fatal attack. What happened between a manager and her employee that led to one of the most shocking workplace murders in Michigan this year? Was this a sudden act of rage, or a premeditated execution disguised under a hooded sweatshirt? This is not just a story about a stabbing. It's a layered timeline of ignored warning signs, unchecked personal tensions, and a failure to intervene before the final act played out in front of witnesses. In this investigation, we break down the facts, review official documents, and retrace every minute that led to the murder of Jennifer Harris, an event that turned an everyday workplace into a crime scene. Welcome to Crime Review, where real crimes, real people, and real consequences come to light. If you're drawn to true stories that uncover the truth and seek justice, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps us raise awareness.
All right, let's get to the beans.
Born and raised in the Detroit metropolitan area, she lived a relatively quiet life centered around work, family, and community. Public records indicate she had no criminal history, and interviews from friends and coworkers suggest she was highly organized, punctual, and known for her work ethic. Jennifer started at McDonald's as a line crew member and gradually earned promotions through years of consistent performance. She took on various responsibilities, including inventory oversight, shift scheduling, and eventually management. Her reputation inside the store was that of a no-nonsense supervisor who upheld company policies strictly but treated hard-working employees fairly. Multiple co-workers reported that Jennifer regularly stayed late to ensure staffing shortages were covered and often took the lead during busy hours without complaint. Her relationship with employees was largely professional. However,
Okay, this is good stuff because normally when you're a manager, it's always good to have employee relationship where you're helping out, right? You're involved, you understand the day to day what's going on. Somebody's out, you understand how to step in. Vacations needs to be filled, you understand how to step in. Things that managerial, you know, responsibilities. But most importantly, just having that understanding of like what's going on in your work environment. That's key. So she was keen for that, and apparently she was all around good person.
reports indicate that she had disciplined several staff members over time, including the accused, Afeni Badu Mohammed. There were no formal complaints filed against her within the McDonald's HR system or local labor commission records.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yo, if something's happening, you need to voice it out to proper how can I put this? You need to voice it out to proper people that's placed in positions that you can talk to, right? So it's sad that she didn't do that, because had she done that, they would have actually brought all of them in and they would have done a talk and figure out what's going on.
Badu Mohammed is a 26-year-old former employee at the East Point McDonald's. She had been working at the restaurant for less than a year prior to the stabbing incident. Public records do not show a prior criminal record. According to those familiar with the case, she had recently moved into the area and sought the McDonald's job as part of a financial restart. Afeni's upbringing and background remain under investigation. Initial reports suggest she was born in Michigan, but moved between various residences during her early 20s. No family members have publicly commented on her mental or emotional well-being. However, one former acquaintance who spoke anonymously.
I'm gonna end this soon, but one thing I noticed, like, they keep giving a sense of, I mean, I understand she did what she did, but like, I don't know, this showing a little bit too much revealing stuff. But anyways, main focus I want to get to is like the fact that I wish she had voiced out her opinions of what's going on, but most importantly, just quit. She could have just left. And there's other branches where she could have even applied to and inform, like, hey, listen, this is what's going on. You know, whatever situation she's going through, then just move on. But apparently, it's sad. It's sad. It's a bad situation. Bad situation.
To local press, describe her as quiet and not social. There's currently no confirmed diagnosis of mental illness on public record, but the court may request a psychological evaluation as part of her defense process. Law enforcement has not disclosed whether she was undergoing therapy, taking medication, or had documented behavioral issues prior to the attack. Afeni's employment history with McDonald's began in late 2024. She was hired as part of a hiring drive and was placed on late and weekend shifts. Internal personnel files show at least one written warning issued to her in early 2025 for tardiness and another for insubordination involving a supervisor, believed to be Jennifer Harris. Her social media accounts, which were made private shortly after the incident, showed minimal activity. However, archived posts obtained by investigators allegedly contain vague statements referencing being disrespected at work and not being seen. None of these posts contain direct threats, but investigators have flagged them for context. As of now, the working theory behind the motive includes a combination of workplace stress, unresolved personal grievances, and perceived mistreatment by management. No evidence of financial extortion, romantic entanglement, or external coercion has been reported. Afeni and Jennifer had a typical supervisor-subordinate relationship. No personal friendship or outside-of-work connection has been reported. According to other employees, Afeni often kept to herself and didn't engage much with other team members, including Jennifer. A.M. According to police, she engaged in a heated discussion with Jennifer Harris about a scheduling dispute. Afeni reportedly left the restaurant shortly after, around 9 a.m. Surveillance footage shows her returning less than 30 minutes later, wearing a hooded garment and face covering.
Guys, this is my first time watching this, so I didn't take time to pre-prep, so to skip to other positions where, her being, whatever, was not seen. But it is what it is, so here we go.
Concealing a knife. According to police records and witness statements, she walked behind the counter and immediately attacked Harris, stabbing her repeatedly in the chest and neck area. The attack lasted approximately 45 seconds before a customer, who was legally armed, intervened.
Suspect will be arraigned on first.
111. Police arrived on the scene within 4 minutes and placed Afeni under arrest without further resistance. Initial responders pronounced Jennifer Harris dead at the scene.
And now we head over to breaking news, where we're learning the identity of the McDonald's employee who's accused of stabbing her manager to death on Thursday. In the last 30 minutes, we've obtained this booking photo for Afeni Muhammad. Now, she's expected to be officially arraigned in the next hour. Local 4's Lauren Kostick is live outside the courthouse where the arraignment is set to happen. Good afternoon, Lauren.
That's right, Jay. We're outside the 38th District Court here in East Point. And like you said, this is where that suspect will be arraigned on first-degree murder charges. We are told that is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. here, and the suspect will appear over Zoom from the Macomb County Jail. And like you said, we have now confirmed within the last few minutes the suspect's name. We are told her name is Afeni Muhammad. Police say a manager at the McDonald's on 9 Mile told Muhammad to go home early yesterday morning. She then allegedly left and then came back with a knife. Witnesses say a customer fired a shot to stop the attack and then held Muhammad at gunpoint until police could arrive. And family of the victim yesterday identified the manager as 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, a single mom of 6 that will be deeply missed. And
wow, that is sad. That is sad. So, gonna move on. Wow. Wow, that is sad. Woo. Damn. All right, well, let's go on to the next. But you know what? It's a sad event. I just pray for the family. Hope things get better for them as far as like their grievances and stuff, and hopefully justice is served. Yeah. All right. All the links in the description will be below. Also, my bad, guys. Should have watched this before to just fast forward to parts that was just needed instead of unneeded parts. But it is what it is. I just wanted to hear the story and find out what's going on. So yeah, there it is right there. McDonald's employee stabbing caused the manager to be deleted. It's just messed up. All right, cool. So before I continue, let me do a little commercial. All right, cool. So
I don't care what they've been doing.
All right, hold on one second. Give me a second. Bam. All right. So, if you haven't heard, right? Again, back to regularly scheduled program. Usually on this channel, we talk about t-shirt designs and stuff like that. But when things are happening around the world or locally or whatever around the nation, I try to get it out there. So, we're not just in a cocoon of just t-shirt making, but it is what it is. All right, cool. So, I'm gonna play this play Ricoma, then do another t-shirt designing. Got some shirts back here. Um, and also I got the transfers. We're gonna do DTF, direct to film, and put it on the shirt, get it going. I'm gonna try it on. Move on to the next thing. All right, cool. Like and subscribe. All right, but before we continue, I'm gonna do a commercial real quick. Right, this is shameless plug. My guy right here, Fractals Print Pod owner, creator, and all around good guy. So yeah, let's do a commercial real quick for him. So oh wait, I was supposed to send out the links. Damn. Give me a minute. Almost there, almost there. All right, cool. So we good. All right, so back. All right, so Fractals is whew, this thing is amazing, man. I can't wait. Who knows? I'm looking at my area. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. But he has so many devices that's usable right there. Where you see the mouse, that's the X plug. That's the one I want. With the X plug, I don't have to do nothing but just add it, and then it just customize my screen printing process. But let's go. Let's give my guy a little bit of advertising.
And none of it comes up to this. If I'm gonna throw modesty aside, it doesn't come up to this. This is.
So what he's doing right now, right? He's, for those of you who know, you know, he has a DTF transfer. He's applying to a shirt, and as he's applying it to a shirt, his scalability is amazing because all he's doing applying it to a shirt, he'd press it and then calling a day.
The fractal. This is the fractal. This is the entire subspace of we have defined the electric force, the gravitative force, the contractive force of the universe, of micro, and patented it. This is the gift that mankind has been waiting for. I don't care what they've been doing in these. None of it comes up to this. If I'm gonna throw modesty aside.
Amazing. All right, guys, check them out. Go to fractals.com. That's FRAQTALS.com. All right, fractals.com. Check them out. If you're in this t-shirt making industry, this is where you go. His stuff is amazing. You can do screen printing, you can do regular t-shirt stuff, apparels, all that. But if you don't want to do screen printing, guess what? You get a setup like this. You got 4 shirts, 6 shirts. All these are what's called modular. So you can interconnect them, create bigger and more print surfaces for t-shirts as you go and as you grow. You know? So like, subscribe, and check him out. Also, go to the website. Go to the website. Check his channel out. Check his channel out. Let's check it out. Let's check him out. Let's check him out. Let's check him out. All right, this is his YouTube channel, Fractals Print Pod. Right, Fractals Print Pod. All right. So yeah. So shameless plug, real quick. You know what I mean? All right. All right. All right. We back. All right, cool. So next one, we're gonna talk about Ricoma embroidery machine. In case you didn't know what an embroidery machine is, that's an embroidery machine right there, right? That's a Ricoma embroidery machine. The one I have is a 10 needle. This one's gonna be talking about a 12 needle, right? Let's check it out. Hold up. Where you at? Where you at? There we go. There we go. All right. All right. Cool. Let's do this. This is Ricoma embroidery machines, right? So this is from Ricoma TV. All right. So in case you didn't know, this is an embroidery machine. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Unmute it.
These 4 machines include for you. Then stick around and watch this video all the way through, because today I'm going to be comparing all 4 of our single head commercial embroidery machines. These 4 machines include the TC1501, the MT1501, the SWD1501, and of course the MT2001, which is our latest and greatest commercial single head model. Now I know that was a mouthful to digest, and with so many single head commercial embroidery machine models to choose from, it might be a little bit confusing as to which one to go with. So today I'll be explaining to you the similarities and differences of each of these single head commercial embroidery machines that we offer here at Ricoma, and what type of garments you can do with each one. By the end of this video, I hope you'll have everything you need to make an informed decision as to which machine is the right fit for you. With all that being said, let's jump right in. And of course, the MT2001, which is our latest and greatest commercial single head model. Now I know that was a mouthful to digest, and with and grow in the custom apparel industry. If you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they're released. And if you enjoy content just like this, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so that this content can be pushed out to more people who might find it helpful. Let's first start by setting some context as to what makes commercial embroidery machines different from semi.
Okay, so this is Ricoma embroidery machine. That was the owner of the actual company of Ricoma. He's explaining about the embroidery machines that he has and all that stuff, right? So he's explaining about all his embroidery machine that he has and all that stuff. So let's go.
Commercial
Do I have too many things on?
machines, as well as home embroidery machines. Commercial embroidery machines are ideal
Give me a minute. I got too many things on the web, so. That's all set. I don't think that one's on.
For you if you're looking to start a side hustle or a full-blown business. These commercial machines are typically multi-needle machines, which means they have more than one needle, and this gives you a lot more color options without the need to change different color spools versus the single needle machines. They also typically have faster stitch speeds, larger embroidery areas, as well as made to be super durable for frequent use. This makes them not only great for one-off orders, but are very conducive for large bulk orders as well. Alright, so now that you know what a commercial embroidery machine is, let's talk about the similarities between these four single-head commercial models that Ricoma offers. Alright, first off, all four of these commercial single-head...
What is going on? It looks grainy for some reason. Like, I turned off all the other things that was on the Wi-Fi, but hopefully it gets back to normal because I don't like this grainy look.
Models can embroider both flats and caps. By simply switching the flat hoop brackets to the cap driver and installing that onto the machine, you can go from embroidering on something flat like polo shirts and t-shirts to caps and hats. All four of these single-head commercial models come with the accessories and tools for you to switch from flats to caps or vice versa without having to purchase additional accessories. Another similarity that all four of these machines have is their memory capacity. All four of these machines have a memory capacity of either 200 designs or 2 million stitches. This means you'll have more than enough storage space and memory on your machine to be able to store designs for different jobs. All of these machines can also read multiple design formats, such as DST and DSB. And speaking of the ability to embroider on caps with all of these machines, all four machines have a 270-degree cap rotation angle. This means you can embroider designs on caps from ear to ear without having to rehoop. In fact, we recently used this feature in one of our videos where we embroidered multiple sides of a cap in one single run without having to rehoop it. So if you're interested to check out how that actually works and the process of doing it, I've put that video in the card above and down in the links below. Now let's move on to some key differences between these four machines so that you can see how they're better positioned to do certain things versus others. Alright, the first major difference between these four machines is the control panel. To make things simple, they are actually broken down into two categories. One group of machines will have a 7-inch control panel and another group will have an 8-inch control panel. The TC1501 and the MT1501 both have the 7-inch HD LCD panel. On the other hand, the SWD1501 and the MT2001 both have the 8S control panel, which is 8 inches in size. But other than just the size, the 8S panel actually has some significant upgrades over their 7S counterparts. First off, the 8S control panel has this feature called 3D Design View, so it allows you to have a more realistic view of your design and gives you better visibility into the finer details. Second, the 8S control panel has Wi-Fi capabilities so that you can connect your computer to your machine if you...
I actually like that feature. I think it's amazing. Just the fact that you're able to do Wi-Fi connection, because sometimes mine's right there. I have the USB connection to it. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. So mine's right here. Right, my embroidery machine. I actually have the USB connection that's right there, so I can't really do Wi-Fi with it. Yeah, so whatever I have goes to the USB and it connects to the embroidery machine, and then the embroidery machine starts embroidering the file. Alright, let's go back.
So desire and transfer designs wirelessly from your computer to your control panel. The 7S control panel still has networking options, but you will have to connect to a computer via an Ethernet cable instead of using Wi-Fi. The 8S panel just gives you that extra option of connecting via Wi-Fi.
Now, here's the thing. Regardless what machine you get, everything is practice, practice, practice. Because no matter what machine you get, at the end of the day, if you're not practicing, it's gonna be hard to understand these machines. They're very sophisticated. The machine will stop at any thread pull if it's too tight, too loose, and it can cause a headache. You know, I've had to do like multiple hats and stuff, and because of that, like some of my stuff that I'm doing, it's like I want it to be at a point where it's like nice. So I've done some stuff, you know, for people obviously who's here. I haven't seen it because I'm a little bit iffy about the way it looks, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so practice, practice, practice. No matter how high tech these things are, you need to practice.
But still retains the optionality of connecting via Ethernet cable. The great thing about connecting your computer to your embroidery machine is that you can transfer designs via your Ricoma digitizing software directly to your control panel without the use of a USB. Finally, one of the other upgrades of the 8S control panel versus the 7S panel is that it has a portrait embroidery feature. This feature allows you to auto-digitize portraits and pictures and then embroider them onto a garment of your choice. We actually used this feature on one of our machines to embroider a photorealistic portrait of Elvis. So if you want to check out how that's done and the process to do that, make sure to check it out in the card above and down in the links below. All right, now that we covered the control panel differences, let's move on to a second category of differences between these four machines, which is their weight. In terms of their weight, the TC1501 weighs in at about 200 pounds, and the MT1501 and the MT2001 weighs in about 320 pounds, while the SWD1501 is the heaviest of the bunch, coming in at over 400 pounds. And so if you're looking for more portability and the ability to move the machine around easily or carry it with you to craft shows or fairs, the TC1501 will be the lightest one to be able to do so in
Having those machines, you better hope it doesn't fall.
all of these machines. All right, moving on to the third category of differences, which is the number of needles between these machines. As the names would suggest, the TC1501, MT1501, and the SWD1501 all have 15 needles on their heads. The only one that doesn't have 15 needles, but instead have 20, is the MT2001. Now, right off the bat,
My embroidery machine has 10 needles.
of you might be thinking it's pretty obvious that having more needles would allow you to do more colors. And while that's certainly true, one other aspect of having more needles is that it actually increases your embroidering efficiency. What I mean by this is that having more needles doesn't just mean that you can embroider more colors at once, but this also allows you to preset different needle types so that you
So basically what he's saying is like if you want to embroider a hat because you have multicolors, right? Some hats usually take just 1 or 2 colors, right? Rarely you got one with like 4 colors. So if that's the case, then you have 15 needles. You can set aside 3 needles that you can change for hat use only, right? So now you would have 12 needles. With the 12 needle, you can have maybe a 2-color job. You take 2 needles away, you set that up for something else. And then you have the other 10. The other 10 can be another color. So the 2 could be like maybe a color that's not, you know, usually a color you use, but you have it set up just for that order. So you can do multiple different orders and designs and not have to worry about much, you know?
can embroider different types of garments. Let me give you an example of how this works. If you have a 20 needle machine, you can set the first 5 needles to be sharp point needles so that they can embroider on caps. You can set the next 5 to be ballpoint needles so they can embroider on knits and other types of fabrics. And then you can set the rest of the needles to be a combination of specialty needles or specialty threads so that you can embroider metallic and other types of specialty embroidery without having to switch out needles or those threads. This really allows you to turn a 20 needle single head machine into maybe 3 or even 4 different machines because you are using them for different needle types, different threads, so that you can embroider different items. This really saves you a lot of time from having to switch out different needle types or switch out different thread spools when you get a certain job. Instead, you already have them preset in a specific needle range. Finally, one other key thing to note here is that the MT2001 not only has more needles for you to play with, but it also has an additional set of tension knobs that has been added to the machine for finer precision in your tension tuning. Instead of just using thread break detection wheels as we do on the 50 needle machines, on the 20 needle MT2001, we actually use a spring plus wheel thread break detection system. This combination of using a spring and wheel thread break detection system allows better thread break detection on both your top thread and
that right there is a danger. Sometimes when you're embroidering, the needle's going up and down. Anyways, the thread itself will break because the tension is too tight or too loose, and that causes a lot of problems. Now, when you have all these needles, it's gonna be a lot of problems. Hopefully, you're not using all of them for different colors at the same time for one order, because man, sometimes you have a needle that need, for example, needle number 5, it operates differently than needle number 1, and because of that, one needle will always have a thread break or be too tight, too loose, and yeah, these machines, it's hard to calibrate them, but you gotta continually use them, and as you're using them, you start to understand them, and then that's when you avoid thread breaks, and the machine can detect the thread better.
bobbin thread. All right, last but not least, probably the biggest difference between these 4 machines are their embroidery area. To start off, the SWD 1501 has by far the largest embroidery area of any single head commercial machines on the market. It boasts a whopping 32 by 20 inch embroidery area, virtually giving you no limit in the type of designs that you can do. Larger embroidery areas also are very helpful when embroidering bulk runs of patches. This is because you can embroider a lot more patches in one single run without having to rehoop. The TC1501, MT1501, and the MT2001 all have the same embroidery area, and while the embroidery area of these 3 machines might not be as large as that of the SWD 1501, these 3 machines still boast quite a sizable embroidery area of 21 by 14 inches. This large embroidery area can definitely allow you to do huge designs such as those on jacket backs. The MT1501 and the MT2001 differ from the TC1501 in that they have larger clearance areas underneath the head to accommodate bulkier items like jackets and bags. This larger clearance...
Alright guys, I'm going to stop right here. Check them out, Ricomas.com. If you're looking for embroidery, check out Ricoma. At the end of the day, no matter what embroidery machine you have to learn it. I use Ricoma, so I can only recommend you Ricoma. I haven't used Tajima and all these other embroidery machines, but use what you think is best for you. However, I use Ricoma, so I thought I might give you guys a chance to see the bigger embroidery machines they have. I've done in the past other embroidery machines from other companies, but I use Ricoma, so I'm gonna let you know, hey, Ricoma is for me. If you want it to be for you, check it out. They have a lot of great deals going on. Right now, if you order one of those big embroidery machines, you get I think a DTF printer or what do you call it? Like toner printer. Who knows if the deal's still going on? Check out with your representative and they'll help you out. But yeah, that was Ricoma. Ricoma is an embroidery machine. These are the heavy hitters, and these are the machines that's if you're really looking for more industrial. They're the ones to go to. Mine is more for like, mom and pops and, little here and there stuff. These machines are meant to go continuously, right? So, all right. Yeah, so, like I said, these machines were meant to go for a longer time, so therefore they're a little bit more versatile, and there's a lot more features put into them, right? All right, cool. So let's make a shirt. Okay, give me a quick minute. go to Pixlr real quick. Give me a second. Give me a second. No, that's not what I want. Come on. Oh man. Damn, this ain't sweet. Come on. Software issues, just dealing with it in the background. Then I'll get back to you. But yeah, that was Ricoma embroidery machines. In case you guys are interested. Come on. Nothing ever goes as planned. An AI photo. All right, let's see. Alright, I'm using the AI generator, so it's gonna create something, and I'm gonna use that to do a design and then throw it on a shirt. Wait, are you kidding me? Come on. Oh, time flies so fast. forget it. Turn on the heat press. Heat press is on. You know what? I'm just gonna end the live now because what I wanted to do is not happening. So forget it. Plus, I gotta go to work, and I know on Sundays it tends to be a little bit more busy. So give me a quick minute. All right, cool. I'm on that. All right, guys, like, subscribe, Levi Pearl. We'll do the shirt thing tomorrow. Today we talked about some stuff, and now just getting ready to wrap things up so we can go. In the background, I got set up my sublimation machine. Both of them. I got two of them. Small, big. So I got calibrate both of them. The inks are coming out a little weird, so I gotta get it going. Other than that, like, subscribe, Levi Apparel. Tomorrow, usually on the weekday, I definitely do stuff on church. Weekends, today's not a day off, so it is what it is. So like, subscribe, Levi Apparel. Appreciate you guys.